Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another iTWire video with Julian Ogren. He's the CEO of Amaysim. Welcome back to the program.
How are you, Alex? Good to see you again.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, great. The year's flying fast, and we're already halfway there.
Yeah. Now I remember we had the one decision plans, the David Hasselhoff, or David Hoff as it is now, advertising campaign. How have the new plans and all the campaigns been going?
No, it's going fantastic. We launched in, I think when we last spoke, we launched in November, and we launched what we called our one decision plans, where customers basically got unlimited domestic voice and text across a range of plans, and all they needed to do was choose their data.
Yep.
And then on the back of that, our Amazingly Simple campaign, which you saw with the David Hasselhoff launch, came in at the same time, and it's been going fantastic. We upgraded those plans in March, where we added unlimited international and domestic voice and text to the offers, and actually increased the data on the plans as well. And it's just continuing that momentum of the product. And the key benefit there, as you know, is what we call a one-click switch. So customers don't just go to one plan; they can actually, with the touch of a button through our app, can change plans at any time they want and optimize themselves. So
Sure. I mean, some months you might need less, other months you might need more. And
that's self-optimization, we call it.
Well, it lowers the customer service costs, which hopefully you can then pass on to the customer in the future, because the whole market is extremely competitive. There seems to be a new offering from somebody, every month just about. So
and that's exactly right. I mean, customers are used to, they might see a great offer and they might go and join that plan, but they don't realise it's very hard to get off that plan or move around or, just manage their own account. And I think what we're now seeing is that customers are starting to realise that online DIY experiences now can provide that freedom to do more things, and that's what Amaysim's always stood for.
Sure. Well, and it also minimises your call is important to us, because you're not on the call, you're just doing it through the app.
But you take the Gen Y and absolutely the millennials now, they don't want to talk to people, they want to do it all themselves.
Well, I find, especially if I'm, whether it's Amaysim I'm talking to on support or whoever it might be, the live chat to be a really handy feature too, because you can get a lot of things sorted by that.
That's
very
right.
quickly.
That's right, and you're not, even though you might put in a live chat request, you don't have to sit on the phone and wait and listen to music. It's pretty much, if it takes a couple of minutes, you can get on with whatever you're doing, and then eventually the chat begins.
Now, you've done some new research looking at trends regarding smartphone usage in Australia and what it means for the future. So please share some of the highlights of that with us.
Yeah, look, we've got some, I guess there's been some really exciting research that's come through from a company called Telco, and it really does show that there is a shift in the consumer behaviour within the mobile sector. And three things that are coming to light. One's not surprising. Data is the number one choice now when customers are looking to get a new plan. Clearly, voice and text being number 2 and 3. But we term it internally here that data is the new currency. Yeah. And people are looking at how do I get an extra gigabyte here, an extra gigabyte there. It's can't get enough of it, and that's really showing in the research. The next one's a big one, where we actually saw that 36% of Australians who are in a postpaid contract are still sitting on that plan, paying the same plan month to month.
They haven't sort of switched because of inertia, basically. Right?
Yeah, and that's 3.7 million Australians. So, gone are the days where people were getting re-signed in month 21 of their 24-month contract. You can see now that because people are wanting to get to that freedom, I think the telcos are even afraid to actually talk to them, and just keep them where they are, let that inertia play.
Yeah.
And I think the third piece of research that we've seen, which is quite interesting, we find quite interesting, is that 22% of Australians are on a 12-month BYO plan. That means that they've brought their handset, put their SIM in their own phone that they own, and signed up to a 12-month phone contract. We see that as the good old telcos up to their usual tricks.
Well, they're locking people in again. Yeah.
Exactly right. We see it as more of it's a bit of an oxymoron when you think of it. A BYO plan is about freedom. You've got your own phone. You shouldn't have to be on a contract to get good value.
Well, it just comes down to education by the telcos. I mean, I remember seeing one of the if I say the big telco in Australia, it was offering some what looked like good amounts of data, but you had to lock into a 12-month plan, and people think about it, but because things change so quickly, I mean, the amount of data they were offering then, it's practically been doubled by some of the players I've seen. out there, and it's just incredible how quickly it's all moving. So locking yourself in is just not a smart thing.
That's exactly right. And we, I give the example of, say, our customer when we launched 4G last March. If they were on a $40 plan, they would have been getting 3 gigs of data.
Yeah.
A month later, they got an extra gig up to 4 gigs. By November, they're on 5 gigs, and now they're on 7.
Yeah.
So imagine locking yourself into a contract and being on 3 gigs of data. You'd be a bit upset.
Well,
you?
Especially seeing as the amount of data we use just keeps rising, and the amount of things we're doing online is not slowing down in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
So, what are some of the other things that the survey you've done has uncovered?
Yes, I think. Look, what it's all pointing to is a real shift in consumer behaviour towards control and freedom. So you've got now over 51% of Australians are now on a month-to-month contract, or
Yep.
BYO-led. Last year, over the last 12 months, over 60% of Australians purchased their smartphone outright.
Yeah. Well, especially with the cost of, especially a lot of Android smartphones dropping dramatically. You know, premium products at mid-range or lower prices. That's incredible.
That's correct. And the big market is the trading market with the hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
30% of handsets traded last year were actually a hand-me-down. And we can even see it on our own base that, when we look at the handset models by every one of our customers, the majority are actually on probably the superseded model, or
Yep.
one that's 2 or 3 years beyond that. So,
Sure.
so it's still a very, that's the most dominant market out there. And the handsets they last for a long time now.
Well, they do, and I mean the new releases don't stop coming, and that, as we're saying, it prompts the hand-me-downs, and everybody wants to go to the newest phone. And as I was saying, when I've seen a lot of the Chinese vendors with some really inexpensive smartphones that just make you question whether you want to buy the very latest and greatest. There's always that market though that does.
Yeah.
But
So there you go.
yes.
So I think when you look at from an Amaysim perspective, we've always been our view is that we're an online disruptor. So if you think of Netflix, Spotify, Uber, Airbnb, they're all disrupting sectors that were was a different type of experience.
Well,
than
Amaysim was
previous.
the original disruptor in the $40 unlimited space, and it spawned a lot of competitors and imitators.
Well, that's
and,
right.
I mean, it's led the market. I remember paying hundreds of dollars a month for phone calls, and now, I mean, it's around about $20 a month for unlimited voice and text,
Yep.
and only a little bit of data. And as you say, data is the thing that people want now. It's incredible how voice and text has dropped. It's
right.
data.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, we were really proud of being the price disruptor back in 2010, and those great days, and really shaking up the market. But we've also been a service disruptor as well. So, when I come back to that one-click switch of changing plans, self-optimization, the fact that you can actually download the app, we call it the telco in your pocket. That's the Netflix, the Uber experience. That's what customers want now. They want the BYO contract. They want to get control of their ownership of their own devices, and with Amaysim you can then control your own service and manage yourself. That's like the complete suite of freedom.
Now, I know you won't pre-announce any changes or deals, but there must always be bubbling away marketing decisions to make plans more, better, basically, to compete with all the changes that are out there.
Yeah, look, we've it's been quite a competitive market. I think the last 12 months, there's no doubt it's been competitive out there. We're very proud of the fact that despite the competition, we're still the number one in terms of value. There's very much two distinct segments in the Australian market. 20% of Australians spend less than $30 on their mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So that less than $30 spend, we have our...
You have plans for that, I know.
We have plans for that.
Too well,
Vaya,
yeah.
and our new brand Vaya, that is the price leader in that space.
Yeah.
And then from the $30 up to the $50 market, where you've got more like the customer champion type brands, and I think Amaysim has really set itself apart from the other MVNOs, and we're now very much closely associated with Telstra and Vodafone, and we're the value price leader there as well. So we're always there providing not only good value but a really good experience.
So any final messages you want to tell the viewers?
I think the final message is, if you look at our research, there is a movement of freedom, and I think it's really about not falling into the good old traps of the telco. This is what you're seeing now is a shift in consumer behaviour forever. If you've got Spotify, if you've got Netflix, if you love using Uber, you'll love using Amaysim, and it's all about moving to a whole new experience in the future.
Okay, Julia, thank you very much, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks very much, Alex.